Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in the series between Lynn and Infy. I believe this is taken from the quarterfinals of the TWI, the Ting Invitational, as we now see Lynn spawning as the blue orc over here on the bottom right hand side of the map, what I will call, well, let's slow things down a bit, what I will call the 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Lynn is on the top left spawning as the red human at what I'll call the 9 o'clock position. So far things are already underway, militia already being called down. Archmage will be dropping a water elemental here in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Blade Master going to go ahead and wind walk his way, attempt to take out this Ogre Magi, most likely sell that Scroll of Town Portal and pick up the Ogre Magi item, in addition to picking up that Watcher Ward. Very, very powerful item in a very strong position there, as the Blade Master going to take off chunks of health from that Ogre Magi in just a bit. Now, human players often like to really spawn on close spawns on this particular map, as they're able to use those militia rather aggressively, but that is not going to be the case. Instead, Infy is going to go ahead and just use the militia, and he was either going to be rushing his opponent, or he knew that he was going to be trying to clear out the expansion. You can see that Forest Troll Warlord is already taking large bits of damage. Level 2 on that Archmage with a Sobi Mask, a very powerful item indeed, as that Archmage does definitely need a lot of mana. More water elementals have been, or another water elemental has been dropped down here, as the Blade Master is just about halfway to getting into that other position there. Now, the Archmage is sitting at about 2.5. You can see the Grunt now being forced to retreat. We do not have a lumber mill as of yet, and the Archmage will be sitting back here trying to defend this expansion for as long as possible. All right, there goes a bit of damage. All right, you can see that the Blade Master trying to push his way through that one peasant, now changing positions. That this one town hall is getting absolutely repaired. Perhaps we should be, wow, it is actually dropping in terms of damage. No, going back up to 194 now. Windwalk Strike trying to go across the other way. Blade Master down to 44 hit points, and the Blade Master was not able to escape, falls at level 1, but that is still a bigger loss for Infy. Infy not able to get any of that gold back. 385 gold lost compared to the resurrection on the Blade Master for 170. Yes, a bit of experience was given right there, as the Archmage now gets to level 3, and he does in fact have Brilliance Aura and Sobi Mask with the Mantle of Intelligence, so there is a lot of mana to be used, but it is not going to make enough of a difference if that Blade Master is able to pick off those units. Stronghold is about to be completed. Shadowhunter will be able to be trained in just a moment right there, as the overall losses are going to be rather high. All right, you need to strike while the iron is hot. You can see that there is no tech to tier 2 at all. That is another downside of losing that early expansion. So it pretty much resets him completely, and he's going to be going 2v1 in terms of hero battles here in just a bit. Or we could even see a Naga Sea Witch pulled in from the center portion of the map. No, it is going to be a Shadowhunter. Blade Master going to try and engage. You see peasants down across over here. There is now a lumber mill. Towers could be constructed, and yes, you see those towers being pushed in a very, very forward position. Blade Master now trying to fight back here. Is he going to be able to push back here? I'm not 100% sure, as the guard towers are now nearing completion. All right, let's take a look. That guard tower number 1 is now done. Guard tower number 2 is, or sorry, guard tower number 1 is being upgraded. Scout tower number 2 is now being placed down, and that is in a very, very difficult spot for a Blade Master to even strike. All right, is that peasant going to get away? Yes, no, he will not. Giving level 2 to the Blade Master, as another guard scout tower is being constructed down. All right, that one particular peasant trying to get away. Orc burrows trying to be constructed. Shadowhunter is about to come out here, as the Archmage is throwing down water elementals rather quickly. 3 level 2 water elementals out at this stage in the game is a tremendous bonus, but without the guard towers for additional damage, it may not matter very much, as all the peasants have been taken out. Blade Master is able to escape at 68 hit points, and only the 3 water elementals are going to be the big savior right here. All right, water elementals now getting taken down. Grunts now being forced to retreat here, and it looks like Lynn will be able to hold this, as Infy's rush is just getting weaker and weaker. Archmage continuing this pressure. Level 2 Water Elemental trying to lead the charge here. Not going to really work though. As you can see, the Orc Burrows are doing their purpose in terms of dealing massive amounts of damage to these remaining units here. Blademaster now back in on the fight. He's going to go ahead and finish off a Water Elemental, and now there are only a handful of footmen left. But all of these units are rather meat sponges, able to absorb a large bit of damage. Blademaster now continuing to engage. You can see that Blademaster down to 126 hit points, may be forced to retreat. And as we also see the Clarity Potion being used by the Shadow Hunter. All right, up to 83 mana. Demolisher now joining in on the fight. Speed Scroll now being used in order to get back away. That Blademaster should have been using a healing salve all throughout this time. You don't see it, but the Demolisher was actually taken out. All right, Demolisher taken down, as the Blademaster going to be able to perhaps finish off a footman. Yes, the Shadow Hunter gets the killing blow. Blademaster, wow, potion of healing just in time, as that Blademaster really should be healing back in the backfield here. All right, Shadow Hunter continuing this fight here. More peasants being added. Grunt taking a lot of damage. Blademaster finally ready to join in on the fight here, healing up just a little bit more and continuing all of this damage. Another peasant will get taken down. A grunt could get taken down here, as we see a Windwalk once more used. All right, Blademaster very, very low on hit points. Potion of healing is on cooldown. That is the reason why he is not breaking Windwalk as of yet. Blademaster now engaging back once more. Blademaster using a potion of healing, knew the timing, and is now chasing after that Archmage. Water Elementals may try to push again, as the Blademaster is still turning around to fight all of these footmen. All right, let's take a look. 32 over 40. It looks as though another footman will get taken down. Blademaster, yes, now at level 3. Healing Wave does come across, as we are now looking at some damage being added. All right, one guard tower is now done. Peasant gonna get taken out. No, it is not. The positioning, beautiful, beautiful spot again, as the Blademaster is gonna go down to 40 hit points. All right, one guard tower going after this peon here. Healing salve, plus also currently invisible, doing a great job there. Wind Riders now being added. Not quite sure if I quite agree with that, as the Archmage is going to be dropping Water Elementals still relatively heavily. All right, more and more peasants are getting taken out. Blademaster still getting healed, as this game can still go any other way. Infy just doubled down on those guard towers, and it actually looked like it worked, as we now are looking at some repairs onto the Orc Burrows. The Orc Burrow cannot get taken down. If it does, we are supply blocked, and Infy is going to have the upper hand with 2 guard towers already up. Archmage in trouble. Is it going to end up... Oh my goodness, it could end up falling, and it does end up falling, as the Hex prevented the Scroll of Town portal. All right, only guard towers here inside the base. Footmen with defend, as the Blademaster now going after some of these units here. All right, Water Elemental going to get taken down. There it goes. Are we going to see perhaps some more damage once again, as we could see a footman getting taken down, a peasant getting taken down. There it goes. And there is just handfuls of units left. That is pretty much it, as another footman gets taken out. All right, cleaning up the remainder of these units. The footman trying to get away. He's going to hide inside there, but the Shadow Hunter with that ranged glaive going to be able to do more than enough. Healing salve once again coming across here. Guard towers shooting at the Altar of Storms. Wind Rider on the other side here, trying to prevent any sort of mining if possible, but it looks as though it is not quite working. Perhaps if the Wind Rider was right here, it would actually be able to get off some easy shots, get a little bit more experience. Meanwhile, back across here, Shadow Hunter now sitting at level 3, level 2 healing wave, bouncing around, healing even more damage, as guard tower number 3 or number 4 looks like it will end up getting canceled before it's taken out. Yes, there it goes. Blademaster and Footman, all that is left that is fighting here. Blademaster taking a lot of damage. Perhaps can Windwalk away. And yes, it is going to Windwalk away. One watchtower now being constructed. Blademaster going to finish off that Footman. There it goes. It is going to now most likely go ahead and try to hide. Why is it not hiding? Oh no, down to 16 hit points, down to 9 hit points. Wow. Very, very close call right there once more as Raiders now joining to come out on the fight as well. One Wind Rider right here has picked off, it looks like, more units again. Back across here, Raider going to pick off more units again as we now see a Demolisher joining in on the fight. Once the Demolisher is out here, we are going to see the GG come in. GG come in from Infy. Wait. What? All right, Blade Master comes across with the GG from Infy. Lynn does take game number 2, higher experience. Higher experience on both of those heroes. As you can take a look, even though he did have a smaller army, he was able to stick around, get more experience, and that was just not going his way. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2.